statement, because the computer doesn't know where is that the views, this name is there. Okay, then use, that's a Northwind database. After you select product name, category name from alphabet. Now you can get anyway, because if you start the queries, you want to give for the which database we are using. Okay, in the database programming, if you make the programming, first want to connect the database, particular database connect, after we are going to use that database. Therefore, we are not give for this statement. Okay, this use statement not necessary for there, because always we have first we want to get the connection, connect to the database, after we use for that particular tables or something like that. Okay, database has many tables, but in the queries, if you run your query in the database, this SQL Management Studio, okay, SQL Management, then you use which database, because the computer doesn't know we have many database there. This particular table where it's checking. Therefore, you can use Northwind. This is the database name. Select product name, category name from alphabet. Then you can get the product name and category. There are 69 rows are there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, always you want to use for the which database you are going to use. Therefore, things. Okay, this is adding. Add the record row, insert into the specific null value for the region and facts column. This is the specify using the null keywords. Okay, you must supply value for all columns that are defined not null. Okay, which are the columns are not null, you must supply the values. Okay, that's also you want to consider. You must also the number of columns in the insert and values list must be matched, and the data type of the each column. Okay, therefore you want to consider for the what is the data types are there. Okay, but this is a little big like, but you can, but you want to is to match, otherwise you cannot insert the rows. When you supply the value to all columns in a row, you may omit the column name and just supply the value for each column. Okay, this is a way you see insert into customer values. This like you can, if you give the all values, you can omit this attribute names. Okay, modify the row in the table. You want to modify, just I refresh for this one. Okay, I didn't do the practical an example, this one only refresh. You use the update statement to update the row. Okay, then update where also you want to use. Okay, the column to update the new value for the column. Okay, typically you should also use for the where clause, because which row want to update. Okay, if you didn't use that where clause, the update for the whole that particular column. Okay, if don't supply the where clause, then all the rows in the specific table will be updated. All the row going to update. Okay, in many cases you will specify the value for the primary key in your where clause. Okay, the following table you can see that is the update customer table. Set address is this value where customer ID, this particular row where the customer ID is the JP.com, that row want to set the address, only change for the address in the customer table. Okay, they say therefore this is the keyword is update. Okay, this is the, don't worry about this, is the not case sensitive, you can use symbol or capital. Then customers, this is the object name, this is a case sensitive. Set which row, Okay, which column? Address column, this new value, this one. Earlier, another value is there, but this is a new value where customer ID is the JP column. Okay, which then you can change. Then modify. You can use the update statement to modify the multiple column also. Multiple column. This is the only one column. Sorry, one row is a multiple column. Here is a one column. Here is a set address only. You can use multiple column. Here is the update the statement, modify address and contact title columns. Then update customer, set address 5 and contact title is a CEO where customer ID JP. Okay, particular row, you want to modify the two column, two value. Okay, then you can understand what are the things you want to memorize. This is the what are the pattern of the statement. Update which table, update which table, set which column want to change, which row. Okay, without this where clause, it going to change for the whole rows for this same address. Without this where clause. Okay, without this where clause, it's going to change for the whole rows for the these two columns are the CO00 line. Okay, then this is the where clause only particular rows or row. Modify. Okay, removing row from the table. Use the delete statement. Okay, in here we are removing the row. You specify the name of the table and row to delete the where clause. Okay, which table, the which row want to remove or rows want to remove. If you omit the where clause, delete statement, all the row. Table is there, but there are no record without where clause. Without where clause, you want to use the delete statement, particular row, delete the table from the table name, then delete the whole. Here you can make sure you are provide the where clause if you don't want to remove all the row from the table. Okay, and typically you will specify the value for the primary key in your where clause. Okay, where clause you have to value the following delete statement. Okay, remove the row from the customer table where customer ID is the CR.com. This is the delete from which table where only this customer ID is the CR. Customer ID equals CR. Without this where clause, if you can make delete from customers, there are no, all records are going to delete. All records are going to delete in from the customer table. The empty tables are there. Table is there, but there are no rows. Okay, there's a remove from the table. Okay, the maintain the database integrity. The database software ensures that the information stored in the database is consistent. In technical term, it is the maintain the integrity of the information. Two examples of this are okay following. Then integrity means there are no any duplicate. Okay, the primary key of the row always contain the unique value. Okay, there are no any duplicate record. Then therefore we are using primary keys. Primary key of the tables. Okay, the foreign key of the row in the child table always reference a value that exists in the parents table. Okay, then you use the foreign key. Then relationship they are in the parent table to child table. Let's take a look at what happened when you try to insert the row into the table with the primary key that already exists. Okay, already the rows there, particular primary key, then again duplicate what is a happen. Okay, maintain the database. The following insert statement attempt to the at a row the customer table with the customer ID is the ALFKI. Okay, then insert into. Okay, I will copy and paste. If you do that, okay, then you can use here is the, if you think about this is the one line, but I want to show everything for you. Therefore, like I make the many line, but the statement end with the semicolon. This is the computer. Think about this is the one statement. Okay. Okay, command complete successfully. It is that is there. Again I run. Sometime I no any custom ID table, customer table, table view. Okay, LKF is there. Sometimes okay, yes, that's okay. Again run. Okay, now it's okay. Now is the violate. Now you can see there is the message. Violate the primary key constraint. PK customers cannot insert duplicate key in the object DBO, the customer table. The duplicate key values this like. Okay, then if you use the primary keys, you can avoid for that is a duplicate. You can maintain for the integrity. Maintain for the okay integrity. Then the violation of the primary key constraint is like you can get that feedback. Okay. Then you can use okay database. This insert statement failed because exiting row in the customer table already constrained. Okay. The message tell you the primary key specified in the insert statement already exit the customer table. Already that particular customers that they are cannot insert again. Okay. Then you can use everywhere in the table you want to maintain for the integrity. That's a you use the no any duplicate data not there in the table. Let's take a look at the what happened. You try to modify the primary key in the permanent okay, parent table with the value of the reference in the foreign key of the child table. Okay, you want to update. Okay, customer set custom ID this like where custom ID is like. Okay, you can try this one. What happened? Okay, update statement conflict with the reference constraint. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. This is the problem reference constraint for the order. Because order also order table related with the customer table. Therefore, you want to alter there. Okay, order customer reference. Okay, the update statement conflict with the reference constraint for the order customer table. Okay, if you change that custom ID, then order table also want to change because the order table related with the customer table. Then want to reflect both. Okay, then you can get that. Then both sides you want to okay update statement conflict with the reference constraint for the order customer. The conflict occur in the database Northwind database DB order column customer ID. Okay, if you change that changes happen in the customer table, that also want to reflect to the other table also. The customer which other tables are related with the customer table. Okay, which other tables are related with the customer table, you want to change there also. Okay, the statement has been terminated. Okay, not success. This update statement failed because the row contains the primary key value ALKF. Okay, ALKI is the reference by row in order table. Okay, then message tell that. Also, you cannot remove the row if you want to delete the rows, also it is a problem. Okay, row from the table, you cannot remove a row from parent table that is referenced by the row in the child table. Okay, or delete statement attempt to remove the row from the customer table where customer ID is displayed. Okay, that's also conflict come because that table related with the other table. Okay, then you can get that this is the delete statement. Grouping SQL statement. By default, when you run in the insert, update, and delete statement, SQL Server permanently record the results of the statement in the database. This might not always you deserve results. Therefore, for example, in the case of the banking transaction, you might want to withdraw the money from one account and deposit it in another account. Okay, you want to withdraw the money for one account to deposit that money to another account. If your withdrawal is successful, then you can deposit that money to another account. Okay, or otherwise, withdrawal is successful but deposit is not success. Therefore, we have to keep it their money. Then again want to deposit the previous account, that first account, when you withdraw the money. Therefore, you want to think about that thing. Okay, if you had two separate update statements that perform the withdrawal and deposit, then you would want to make the results of the each update statement in permanently on, okay, only in one unit. Okay, then if you transfer the money to one account to another account, then if withdrawal is success, then you can deposit. For example, withdrawal is unsuccess because sometimes not enough money, then you can't deposit for the other account or something. Then it happens. Then you can make this the one unit. Then how to make? If the update is failure for some reason, then you would want to undo the both update statement. Okay, you want to undo the update statement. The permanently record the results of the SQL statement is known as a commit or rollback. Committing is the successfully, if you transaction is successful for the both update is both success, then commit. If you undo the results of the SQL statement known as the rollback, then you can use that is the particular transaction is successful, then you can commit. If the particular transaction is not successful, then you unroll the roll back your state. Okay. Now we are going to start for the transaction. You can group the SQL statement in a transaction because we want to update the two things, want to withdraw and deposit. Then you can group with that transaction. We are calling for the transaction mean if you execute the statement, okay, something happened in the table, update or delete or edit, everything is there, we call that's a transaction. You can group the SQL statement into the transaction. Okay, you can then commit or roll back the SQL statement in the transaction as a one unit. Okay, if you already now you can use in the ATM card to withdraw the money. They are making for the your transaction successful or waiting the process going on, like that's the thing. Then here also you can then commit to roll back the SQL statement in the transaction as a one unit. Okay, one unit. For example, the okay. For example, the two update statement in the previous banking example could be placed in the transaction, and then you would commit or roll back. If you successful both transaction, okay, for both statement, then you can make for the commit for that particular transaction. Otherwise, you roll back to the transaction as that. Okay. Then one unit depending on whether both of the update statement succeed. Okay. Now you can see the commit and rollback transaction statement. Okay. You start the transaction using begin transaction. Okay. Or begin transaction or begin trans. Short and also you can use. Okay. Then after end transaction. Then the computer that SQL software know where start the transaction when end of the transaction. You then perform your SQL statement that make up the transaction. Okay. Then you can make there's a many statement inside the transaction. It has a one unit mentioned as a one unit. To commit the transaction, you perform a commit transaction statement or one more shortcut commit. Okay, commit trans or commit. Then particular transaction is committed. Okay, this is the keyword. Begin transaction or begin trans. This is a commit transaction or commit trans or commit. The shortcut you can use. Same thing is the rollback transaction or rollback trans or rollback. Then particular transaction. Then you can make for the transaction name also. Okay, we see the next slide. By default transaction are rollback. Okay, they are mentioned default transaction are rollback. You should always explicitly commit or roll back the transaction to indicate what you want to do. Okay, that's the example. Let's look at the example. The following transaction, okay, consist of the two insert statement. The first at the row in the customer table and second at row in the order table. Okay, at the end the transaction is commit using commit statement. Now you can begin transaction, insert into customer ID, company name, as value as this is the two values. Okay, next insert into the order table, customer ID, value as is because the customer table related with the order table. Okay, with the order table, then we want to add that value also in the custom order table. Okay, then in the end is the commit. Okay, begin transaction and end is the commit. Then we can do it. I don't know already is there or not. Only check the customer table. What's the name? SOCOM. Customer table SOCOM. SOCOM not there. Okay, SOCOM not there. Then we can do it. Okay, begin transaction, insert into customer, then customer ID and company name. We are going to only give the two values, therefore we have mentioned here two attributes. That's the customer ID is this like, customer name this. Then insert into order, and if you commit, okay, then if you both are success, then you can commit. Okay, now is the commit mean you permanently change that record. Okay, insert. Now you can see here two rows affected. Two rows affected. Then both places you can check. Customer table. I want to refresh. This is not there. I want again open. This not happen for the refresh. Refreshes. The changes customer table. Yes. Here but others are null because I provide that only two values, two attributes values. Okay, then order table also you can see. Same. What's the name? Oh yes. SOCOM. SOC. Let me search it. 200 choice order table. Orders may more than that. Wait. Okay, it is happened for the both table because it is affected. Now you can see other in the next transaction consider the similar insert statement. Expect this time to transaction is rolled back. Okay, begin transaction, insert in the customer, particular SYCOM, company name, and insert into order, customer ID, value, SYCOM. Is the rollback. Then you can see what happened. There are no that particular such things. Okay, here you can see that begin transaction, insert into customer table, insert into customer table, the customer ID and like, insert and roll back. If you now execute, it is affected. Now I want to, okay, close this one. I want to refresh. Does not happen. Right. Now table, sorry, customer table. Okay, you can see it's the 92. SYM not there. Com is there, SYM not there. Okay, it's the rollback, is the undo that command. Undo that because the transaction is rollback. The two rows are added by the insert statement are undone. Again, undo that one. Okay, then always you can use this. If you successfully, you can commit. If not successfully, it's roll back that. Okay, then you can error in the transaction. You should check for the error in transaction before designing to perform the commit or rollback. Okay, because error do not always stop the next line or from processing. If error is there, then it's not. It is do not stop always next line. Then you can use for this function double adjoin error. This is the built-in function in the SQL Microsoft SQL Server. Therefore, you can use for this the function. Do this SQL Server, you would use for the add function. Okay. This function return the 0 where the statement is executed or doesn't case in error. There are no any error. This return for the 0 value. This particular function return for this error function return the value as a 0 is the there are no error is the statement is executed successfully executed. But if you give the value is non-zero value. If return non-zero value, you know an error is occurred. Then if you can use let's say if that error function return the 0 value, you can commit particular transaction. If you return the non-zero value, roll back that your transaction. This is the simple way. Okay, if the error return 0, you perform commit. Otherwise, you perform rollback. Commit that transaction or rollback. Then you can decide. You can also assign name of your transaction is begin transaction statement. Okay, this example. This is the useful as in so you use working on. Because if you have the many transaction, you can code for the transaction is commit, particular transaction commit and rollback. Then you can use in your database programming, many transactions happen. Then you can put the name. Now you can see here example. The following examples show the name of the transaction along with the use of the error function. Okay, now you can don't forget this add sign. To add sign is there. That's a function name. Okay, function. Now you can see begin transaction, my transaction. This is the name of the transaction. Begin transaction, my transaction. Now that is the insert in the customer ID, company ID, value, SYCOM. This is the name of the customer name. Insert in the order. Then if error equals 0, if add sign error, this is a function, equals 0 and commit transaction. Else roll back your transaction. Roll back transaction, my transaction. This is the name of the transaction. Okay, already we mentioned this is a transaction. Then you can commit or roll back. Okay. Now you can see this that we are using the add function. We want to confirm is that there are no any mistake. If it's here, you make this is the insert into customer. Then you make some mistake here. If it's successful for insert, okay, you are terminate your. Okay. Okay. Then if your first statement is successful, then you can insert the second statement also. Okay, otherwise violation. If your first statement is not successful, okay, not succeed, then you cannot insert into this custom ID in the order table. Then here is checking both statements are successfully run. Then is the here no any error. Then if add sign error is 0, then commit that particular transaction. Okay, I mentioned the transaction here. I use for the two statement, but you can increase the number of statement as a one unit is a code for the transaction. Commit transaction, my transaction. Okay, for example, now you can use your card and transfer to your account some balance to another account. Or now you are going to online payment. Okay, if you have enough money, then that you can pay the money to another people or another organization. That also is the one transaction. If you successfully withdraw your money to your account and put it there another account. Now this is the then you can use the if condition. Okay, you know it is the both statements are successfully execute, then commit particular transaction. Otherwise, roll back the transaction, nothing happened. Okay, not withdraw your money and not deposit that money to other organizations. Okay, then you can use that's a begin transaction. Okay, then we can see that I make some mistake. This account. That's a you can see. Okay, SQL. Begin transaction. Begin transaction, my transaction. I make that is a some company name or something. Okay, remove something. Is there if you run column name? Okay. Okay, company name. Okay, I make this error is coming. That give some errors. Okay, Now something. Okay, make some errors for this line. Okay, execute. There are few column in the insert statement. The value specified, the value column is there. Okay, run this one. It's affected. Okay, successfully S5 is there. There are no any error. Then commit. If something errors happen, right? Okay, I change something here. This is the name. stcom. This is the xccom. Is there? Oh, now I run. Okay, one is affected, but other is not affected. Statement has been terminated. Okay, not successful. This is the way you can avoid the error. Then we use this the error function. Okay, double add sign is there. This is the name of the function, error function. This is a system functions there. Error function is a system function. Is there. We will study later for the what are the functions are there in the here also. Error function. That's a 0. And that's a rollback our answer. Okay, now we study for this is the new thing, the transaction. Okay, anything happen in the table, we call this a transaction. Edit table, delete, update for the rows is happened, we call there's a transaction. Okay, introducing the data definition language. Okay, this also I am not spending more time. Data definition language allows you to create the data structure such as the table and index. Okay, or to create the table and alter your table, drop your table. That's the data definition language. The previous we use for the data manipulation language. Insert row, delete row, update rows. That here this is the create the data object tables. You learn how to create the alter and drop the table. Okay, create the table. Then create the table name. Okay, to create the table, create table statement. For example, let's say you want to store the detail or the number of person in the table. Then let's call this the table person. You also want to uniquely identify something, then you can use for the person table numerical ID with the primary keys table. Okay, then here expect. This is a create table. This is the person ID integer. What is the data type? This is a constraint as a primary keys. Okay, we call this the primary keys as a constraint pk person. This is the person ID is the primary keys. Okay. Now the second one is the second attribute name. What is the data type as a invacha 15. They are limited only maximum 15 characters, not null. And you had to provide that name. Last name is a 15, not null. Invacha date of birth, date time. This is the data type. Customer ID encha 5 foreign key reference customer table as a customer ID. Then we give for this is the foreign key where reference from the customer table which attribute, which column. This is the customer. Then you can execute, then you can create this person table. Okay. Then person ID, integer type, this is the primary key. Okay. Person name, invacha 15, not null. Last name, invacha 15, not null. Date of birth, date time, that's a data type. Customer ID is the foreign key, n cha 15, sorry 5, n cha, number of cha. Okay, here is the vacha. What is the difference? Is that it is vary 0 to so yes, not null mean 1 to 15 is any number. But here is the custom ID n char. Is the it should be a 5 characters are there. N char 5. It is a different in vacha and n char because the first name and last name, the name is the number of character, number of letters is vary. Therefore, we are using n vacha. Okay, that also you want to consider if you create that database tables. Okay, I not too much. Okay, create the person table. You use the constraint close to restrict the value stored in the table or column. Okay, that's a primary key. It's a uniquely identify the each row. The primary key is the person ID column and it's constrained the name of the primary key as a person. Okay, PK person. The ID column is the integer. So in the integer. Every row in the person table must have the unique number of the person ID. Okay, therefore we are using the primary key already, you know. Okay, that is the detail of this whole attribute description here. Okay, later also you can read. Here's the column doesn't have a not null constraint, therefore use the default to as a null. Okay, here is a not null, is others are null like. Okay, if you mention this the null, not null is the you have to provide the value, but others are default, any column is the null. Alter the table. You alter the exit the table using the alter table. There's an alter table. What is the name? You can add and drop the column. Okay, sometime want to add the additional column. Already table is there. You forget the one attribute. Then you can add that. Then alter table name and add particular. Then alter table name. Here alter table person at address in vacha 50. Then I forget that address in that person table. Then want to add that rows. Otherwise, you want again delete that table, again want to create that particular table for the whole attribute names and data type everything. Now here you want to alter. Already table is there. You want to modify that table. Then we use the alter table person at address in vacha 50. In vacha 50. The address column in vacha that can be stored up to the 50 character. Okay, if you drop the address, okay, sometime you already this the extra attributes are there. Then we want to remove that attribute. Then alter table person drop column address, because already the particular column is there. Here not necessarily mentioned for the data type, because already that column is there. Want to remove that column from the table. Then alter table person drop column address. Drop column address. The next example, add the column name employee ID to person table, which record the company that the other person worked for. Okay. Alter table person at employee ID in vacha constraint, because that's the customer table has that is the employee ID. That's why we give the reference for the customer table customer ID. That's the primary foreign key. We are setting as this is the foreign key for this person table. That's the employer ID. Then you can use for the alter. This is the keyword as alter table. Table name. You want to add the attribute or delete that attribute. Okay. Drop column and column name. Here at attribute name, data type also you want to give. This is the another attribute. Okay, relationship. Make the relationship here. We make that relationship with the customer table to person table. Customer table to person table. Okay. The employee ID column is the foreign key to the customer ID column of the customer table. The constraint name as a FK person customer. Okay, prop a table. Already you create the table, want to remove the table from the database. The table remove from the database. Then you use the drop table statement. For example, the following statement: drop the person table. Drop table persons. Then you remove from the table to in the particular database, Northwind database. Then with the record, everything is going to vanish. Then you want to create the table, alter table, and drop the table, and create the index. Okay, I am not too much spend for the next chapter. Is important for you. You add the index to the table using the create index statement. And index allow you to potentially find the row more rapidly. Okay, when you want to search some record, then you use the index table. Okay, for example, create index statement. Create index last name, index on person last name. Then you are always you want to use for the last name for the searching field. Then you can make for the create index last name index. This is the index name. Name of the index on person where last name on the person table is the last name column. Okay. If you uniquely use the column in where clause, you should consider add the index to the that column. Okay. Drop an index. That sometimes not necessarily that index. Then you can use for the drop index person dot last name index. This is the index name. Drop index. This is the command. Person dot last name. This is the where, which table, which index. Okay. That chat is there. So what is the difference in the watch? Okay. Some please listen after the lectures. Okay. Okay, I will explain later what is the watch and chat. Okay, I will give the 5 minutes break. Then we will continue because the 1 hour is there. If you have the face-to-face, is not give the some interval because the 3 hours we are give the practical. I run here and there. They have some mistake. It's like it's going like. But here, unfortunately, that sometime we will start for next other 2 months or something. Then we want to anyway. If we start, we can go quickly for the practical. If you study the theory, everything, because the after that you can face the exam. We had that because with the practical subject, there is a problem. Every student has only 21 students participate here now today. Then other students are sometimes they have in the computer, laptop. Without laptop, can't do anything. That's the thing. One of the students asks for that is what is the difference for the encha and vacha. Okay. So what is the difference in the vacha and encha? That vacha mean variable. That number of characters vary. Because if you have the name, I have the how many characters, my name. Sometimes your name has a 5 letters. Some other people has a 8 letters. Therefore, we use for the vacha. In vacha is the number of vacha. Okay, in vacha is the number of, you can give for the bracket number of vacha. Okay, variable cha is in vacha mean number of characters. That's a vacha. But in some other, I don't know, other Oracle something, there is the different data type they are mentioned. In the SQL, here we use for the in vacha and others is the cha, n cha, number of characters. Number of characters. Okay, here in vacha, here is the customer as a n cha, is the number of characters. This is the number of characters, the vary. Okay, but you had to give for the number of character. What is the vary number? Okay, n vacha, number of characters. Okay, then you had to give the number of character here, size n vacha, number of character maximum 15. Okay, if vacha is there, that is there are no any restriction. I think I thought it's a 0 to 255 character. You can keep it in the thing. Okay, that's a vacha. In vacha, then you can provide that here is a 15 character, maximum 15. No more characters. Okay, maximum 15 characters is a in vacha. Vacha you can give for the number of any character that's a 0 to 255. Okay, this why we use here is a n vacha. Sometimes you use the particular thing for the password. Then you can restrict number of characters, maximum 8 characters. Okay, easy to match that line. Okay, sometimes if you give you didn't give the restriction, some people are use the 50 character also this line. Okay, then minimum characters, maximum character you can see. Okay, this is the introduction to the Transactionsql program. We call this a Tsql. Okay, introduction to the Transactionsql program. Okay, the fundamental of the Transactionsql is the part 1. And you can see that Tsql. Okay, Transactionsql is Microsoft implement of the SQL and in contain the additional programming construct. Okay, it is the like as we call for the Tsql. It has some number of statements we write for the program. Okay, construct the programming. The Tsql enable you to write the programs that contain the SQL statement along with the standard programming construct such as the variable, conditional logic, loop, procedures, and function. Okay, you can create your own function. Already I mentioned the one function is there at double at sign error. That's the system function. You can use your own function also. Then we call that's a use to the Tsql. Okay, then you can use the variable. Okay, you can store some value. Variable means it change. The conditional logical, if condition, else, case. Okay, then loops. Some statement won't execute again. Then you can do. Okay, some statement won't execute. Then you can use the procedure. For example, for the insert. Okay, every time want to insert the some at the customer in the bank. Okay, new customers come, they are going to open the account, then add customer, then procedure, like we can use that the code for the procedure, then it add for the particular customer in the table. Okay, and function. Then we use for the Tsql, we call transact SQL as a Tsql. Okay, the fundamental SQL. You will learn some of the essential programming construct variable for this Tsql. Okay, available. Use variable, comments, and conditional logic. Use a number of statements that allow you to perform jump and loop also. Okay, you can jump to the one statement and the statement because we have a number of statements, but not necessary to execute the whole statement. Only particular statement want to some situation, particular situation want to execute the particular tasks. Then we can jump to one place to another place. Okay, then examine the cursor. Okay, we study for the cursor function also. You allow to the process row return from the database at a time. Okay, if you return, okay, you retrieve the data from the database, it is come for the all data. Okay, at the time. But we want to one by one want to retrieve, then you use for the cursor function that also we are going to study here. Now using variable. A variable allow you to store the value in the memory of the computer. Okay, already studying the visual programming also variable. Here also. Each variable has a type that indicate the kind of the value that will be stored in the that variable. Okay, each other. You declare the variable using for the declare statement, followed by the variable name and the type. What's the type? Then we are using the add sign for the variable name. Then you can consider that is the variable. Okay, you place an okay add character before start of the variable name. Okay, in the function we use for the system double add sign. Here is the one add sign is there in the SQL statement. You think about that is the variable. That is the variable. The following syntax illustrates the use the declare statement. Okay, here is the declare at name, what's the type. Okay, name of the variable and what's the type. Then it is the declare. Is the you are declare the variable. After that you can set the value of the variable. Okay, where the name is the name of your variable and type is the variable type. Okay, what's the integer type? Char. That is a thing, everything. Now you can see that, for example, the following statement declare the two variable name, my product name and my product ID. Okay, then declare at my product name in Vacha 40. Okay, that's a product name as a in Vacha 40. This is the variable data type. This is the variable name at this is my product name. Okay, if you use this add sign, you can see anywhere that's a variable. Okay, but if you use only my product name, like that's the attribute name or table name or something like in the SQL statement. But if you use that add sign with the my product name, this is the variable. Okay, you can identify for this is the variable. Declare at my product ID is the integer type. Then you have to provide for the integer values. Now you can place more than one variable declare on the same line, but that variable, for example, here declare at my product name in Vacha 40, comma at my product ID int. That's integer type. Then you can one line also you can declare. Okay, that's a thing. Okay, anyway, the variable are initially set to null. Okay, initially set to null, that's nothing. But you set the variable value using the set statement. Okay, first you declare the variable, after you want to set that value. Okay, for example, the following statement, set the my product name to chai and my product ID is the 7. My product ID is the 7. Set at product name is chai. Okay, because already we declare this variable as a product name in Vacha 40. Declare at my product ID is the integer. Now here is a set that value as in the value. Okay. Set at product ID is a 7. Okay. Here this is the in Vacha. This is a character. Therefore we use there's a single quotation. Here is the integer. There is a number. Okay. Then you can set that value. Okay. Now you can do the following statement that use these variable in the where close select product ID, product name. Okay, unit price from the product table where product ID at product ID and or product name is that product name. Okay, you can assign. Already we declare that variable and now we see this is the particular things is the product ID and product name for the product ID, this attribute as this variable, and product name as a product name. Okay, then you can get the output this way. Select product ID, product name, unit price from product. Okay, where product ID and product name. Then you can use, that's always you want to declare this variable first and set this value, and after you execute that one. Okay, then you can use that variable in the SQL statement. Okay, that already we set that variable as the product ID is a servant, product name as the child. Then we can use that. Get that. Okay, then we can go there. Okay, then declare clear. Okay, if you this is the command, is no problem anything. Okay, this is the type in varchar. Okay, then we set the value. After that, we want that select. Okay, I use for the here is a use window north win. Okay, north win, because we are using that customer table. Select. What is the attributes? Okay, that is important for the attribute name, product ID, product name, unit price from product table where product ID equal that slide. Okay, then you can get this output. Select. Okay, product ID, product name, unit price. Now I use this variable. Okay, this variable to in the way. This is the way we are going to use our programming also. We in the database programming, you have the data. Okay, user interface. Okay, for example, for the student table as a student name, something like. Then you can use that as a student name as a variable. So time is going to change. If you insert the one student now, then again another 5 minutes or something, new students come, want to register something, add the another thing. Then you want to use that. Here is the attribute as that variable. Okay, then you can create the variable and use it. Here this variable time to time you can change. Okay, otherwise if you directly you use here is a child 7. Okay, it's a hard coding line, can't change again. That particular programmer want to change again, like therefore we are using the database as a many variable. That variable can change time to time. We can change. That's the variable. Now I execute this one. We can get. If we change product ID is a 10, as another one is come. Okay, time to time we can change. This is not hard coding because we are going to use this variable in our database. Sorry, in our database programming that user interface. If we give anything in the text box or something, we want to give the input. That input as the variable. Okay, assign that variable everywhere we can. But in here directly you put here as a my product ID is this product ID is a 10. Okay, this is the hard coding, can't change it next time. But in here we can change. This is the variable. Or this. Okay. Therefore, we are using that variable. This paper. Time to time we can give the different value. Okay. Later we study. Okay. That's a we called for the TSQL using the variable as the variable defined for the declare keyword. Okay, declare. This is the add sign with the variable name. Okay, for consider you can see there's a variable also one name. One word. Okay, there are no any space. If you want, you can use a underscore. want to separate like, okay, you can see here. And data type. And data type. Okay. Now you understand, like, then we can go next. Okay. Using the comments. You add the comments to describe your code, making it more understand for both yourself and other programmer. Okay, sometimes you declare some variable, one name like, but some other programmer don't know why you use that. You can give for the comments. Okay, you might think you understand your own code. Okay, inside and okay out, but when you return to it for the maintain for the after 6 months later, then you want to think about what is this variable, why we use that variable, where to use that, like you forget, like, then you want to understand, therefore you use for the comments. Okay, on creation also after 2 or 3 months we forget everything, and so forth. The point is that you should add the comment to, okay, your code to aid the understanding, but don't think you have to comment every line. Okay, not necessary to line. Okay, comment for the every line, but some purpose. Okay, so for example, you create one function. Then what is the purpose to create that function? You mention like this. Okay, not necessary to insert every line for the what are the functions tasks is execute like. But this the one line is enough. That like you want to make that use the comment is the use. Now how to, you need to mark your comments with specific characters. Okay, so SQL Server ignore them to, doesn't try to proceed them as a code. Okay, that SQL Server ignore that line, not necessary. Okay, not read that one. There are two type of comments. One is the single line comment. You use the double there, that's a hyphen. Okay, you use the negative sign. Two negative sign is a single line comments. Then okay, a single line comment maybe only span one line. Okay, now multi-line. This is the backslash with the asterisk mark. It's the beginning of the comments and ending of the many line, multi-line. Ending is the asterisk mark with the backslash. That's the line. Okay, now something comment span be more than one line you can make. Okay, the single line also you can use this like also comment like. Okay, backslash, but the single line is, it is enough for double negative sign, minus sign, negative sign, double is enough. The multi-line comment can of course also span only one line. Okay, one line also you can use. Now using conditional logic. The conditional logic allow used to, okay, you to execute the different branches of the code. Okay, based on the Boolean true or false value given expression. Okay, then I already mentioned. Then you have the many number of statements, but that all statement not necessary to execute the every time. Particular statement would execute, then you can use for the conditional logic. For example, you might want to check if the error condition is true and display the message. Error condition is true, then display the message. Use the if and optional else keyword to perform the conditional logic. Then we use the condition as if and else. The following syntax illustrates the use of conditional logic. If condition and statement, you can use the not in one statement, number of statement include for the if condition, and second else statement to that line. Okay, where condition is Boolean, okay, express. Then if you use that number of statement, okay, you can use for the end, if end and else end. Then we can use that's the end of the if clause and else clause. Okay, where condition is Boolean express that evaluate or to true or false. If the condition is true, execute this one. Okay, not execute for the else part. If condition is false, execute the else part. Okay, otherwise statement 2 is executed. Okay, now this example is there. Begin and end also there. If you use the line statement, multiple statement. Now you can see here the rules apply for the T-SQL program construct. We can use the following syntax. If condition, begin, number of statement you can add, and end of the if condition. Then again else, number of statement, begin, number of statement, and end. Okay, you have in the begin and end, it is only execute for the first statement. Here is the if condition statement. If you have the here we use the another statement also. They are only execute for the first statement. If condition is okay, satisfy that condition, only execute for the first statement and go to the download. Okay, if you want to execute the multi statement, you use the begin and end. Okay, you can use a multiple line here statement. Okay, the following syntax for the replacement of the single statement with the block of statement placed within the begin and end. Block of statement you can use here. Then if your condition is satisfied, the block of statement is going to execute. Or else part also same. Okay. Where statement 1 and statement 2 are multiple statement, you can also use for the optional else statement to execute the different branch of the code if the condition is false. Okay, you can see here some examples there. You can nest if statement, okay, to any level. Now you can see here the following example display the product ID, product name, and unit price column for any rows from the product table that have a unit price of less than $5. You will notice that use the print statement to output the line this example. Okay, we can use the print statement. This is the example here. If select count asterisk mark from product where unit price less than less than 5, it is greater than 0. Okay, then if you have the results, then you can display. Okay, if you get some results, then you can display. Therefore, if condition I put if select count asterisk from product table where unit price less than 5, unit price less than 5, then it is greater than 0. Okay, it is greater than 0 mean this is the one statement. If you get some rows, then if condition is there, if you have some values, rows, the mean number of rows are there, 1, 2, 3, the count is there, number of rows. Okay, there are no rows, then you cannot display. Okay, then begin print the following product has the unit price of the less than this line. Select product ID, product name, unit price. Okay, select product ID, product name, unit price from product table where unit price less than 5. Okay, this condition is check. Okay, there are record is there, then you can print for this output. Okay, else part. Else print there are no product. Unit price less than 5. Okay, if the table has Okay, that table has some product less than $5, unit price less than $5, then you can display. Otherwise, there are no. Then we call here this if condition. We are checking there are product is there or not. If the product is there, then we display this the print the following product at the unit price less than 5. This is the statement. Okay, this is the print. This is a select statement. Execute the select statement. Select product ID, product name, unit price from product where unit price less than 5. Okay, then we are running multiple line. Therefore, we use the begin and end. Multiple line is there. Okay, multiple statement. This is the one statement print. So select this next statement. Okay, put this next line. Okay, next line. Select. This is another statement. Okay, then this line. Okay, we can run this one and check for the another condition. Like okay, everywhere I use for the that Northwind database. Okay, if select count from product where the product table where unit price less than, then here we can get the some number of rows. Count mean number of rows. If you get the some number of rows, that product is less than 5 and unit price is less than 5, then in the if condition is greater than 0. The value is greater than 0, then it's true. If 0 is the no value, no record is there, that is 0, is not satisfied, then execute this one. Okay, if you run, we get the 2. Okay, 2.5 something. Okay, now you can put the 2. What happened? 2 here also 2. Okay. There are no product that have a unit price of less than $5. Okay, it is check here. There are product is there or not. Okay, unit price less than 2. No, that is a 0. Is not satisfied. Then execute this else statement. Now I put the 3. Okay, but here is I put the 3, but I didn't change here is a where 2. Okay, there are no any display, but it's execute here. Product and same thing is there, but there are no any record. But here is a satisfy this. Here is a statement. Here there's a satisfy condition. Count from product. It's a one product there, or 5 or 10, 5 or something. Okay, less than 5 or something. You execute now. But if you here you put the 10, but the condition is there. Is a 10, but we can get the more than 10. Right. But it check for this is the condition. It's true. The same condition you can count. The product is there. You can display. Otherwise, no product. Then we are using both the if and else. This is a logical condition and logic statement. Conditional logic. If select count from product where unit. Okay, this is a print statement. This is a string. Therefore, we use for the single quotation. Okay, this is execute for this statement. This is okay, one line. Select from which table and where close this is the condition. Okay, this is the TSQL. You can use the conditional logic condition. Okay, there are, I think here is a 3 products are there something, but in my that database only 2. Okay, using conditional logic. That's a if condition. While also we are coming for the later while. That's okay. Case statement also you can use. you use the case statement to compare the value against the list of values and execute one or more statement when a match is found. Okay, for example, case statement MA when CA is then California, when MA is the Massachusetts, when NY is the New York, and you can check. Okay, it's a case statement. It is some cases here. Case MA. Okay, then we check for the 3 cases. If you match, then we can get that this output. Okay. The next example used for the select statement to retrieve the case. Okay. Declare at state in chart 2. Okay, number of chart 2, set state MA. And declare at state name in chart 15. Select case at state. Okay. Now is the what are the state is state MA. Then we can we can get that the state name is this. Okay. Declare state as this like. Okay. State as a MA. Okay, that's sorry. This is the single condition, right? Okay, copy and paste that. Okay. Set state in jar 2. Set at state as MA. Declare state name in varchar 15. Select at state name. Then if you set the state as a this like, then what is the state name? Now here's a case when CA is there, California. This slide we mentioned. Then if you run, you can get the results. Print at state name. Okay. If you make here as a CA, California. NY, New York. Okay. That also you can use the case because we are going to study the visual programming in the case also later. Okay, there also you can understand. Here also you can use here. This is a condition. Okay, satisfy this condition and you can get that result. That's a case. Okay, that's a if or case. You can also compare column value in the case statement also. Select price. Case when unit price is null, then the case you can use null, then unknown. Okay, if you the particular unit price column, the price is there, sorry, yes, price, select price equal, unit price column is null, then you can say that's a unknown, the price is unknown. When the unit price is less than 10, then you can say that is the price is the less than 10. Then you can say when the unit price is 10, then you can use that's a $10. Else greater than $10. Okay, case is there. If you like, then when unit price is this like, first unit price is null, then you unknown. Okay, when the unit price is this like, okay, then you can use this like, or when unit price is 10, then it's a $10, else greater than $10. Then you can get the results. Okay, from the which table, product table. Okay, you will notice from the example that you can also supply the catch else condition. Okay, in the case statement. Else condition also you can use the case statement. The case is there, otherwise else greater than $10. Some unit price is unknown, then you use for the null is there, unknown on the display. Unit price is less than 10, then you mention for the less than $10. Unit price is equal 10, then use the $10. greater than, otherwise greater than $10. That goes. Okay, now is the while loop. It is important. You use the while loop to run one or more statement the multiple times. Okay, again want to run, then we use the while loop. A while loop run until specify the condition is evaluated to false. The syntax for the while loop is as following. Here is the while condition statement is there. Okay, end of the statement. Then you can use here the following example. Declare at count int. Okay, the increment also we want to give for the while loop. Okay, set at count 5. While at count, this is a variable count greater than 0, you can execute. Begin print count as a convert envarch. Okay, envarchar to at count, because if you want to print the variable as integer to character, okay, integer to string, then we use for the convert. This is the function. Okay, is the method, that is the method as a convert method is the add variable integer type to string type. Okay, integer type to string type. Then we set that count equal at count -1. We decrease the count. Okay, that this while up to work with the greater than 1 at count greater than 1. 5 to decrease 1 by 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 after stop. Then you can get this the results as a count 5, count 4, count 3, count 2, count 1, etc. That's a while loop. Then here is a while start, while begin and end. Then here. Okay, then we can run this program also. Declare is a while loop. Okay, we have a more example also there. Okay, declare this is the count. It's integer type. Set that count value is a 5. Now we condition while condition is there. If at count that count variable greater than 1, execute this one. Otherwise stop. Then print the count. Is the count is convert to the string. Like now execute. After that you want to set that count decrease by 1. Decrease by 1. Okay, decrease by 1. Now you execute 1, 2, 3. Okay, then we can use count -2. Okay, only 5, 3, 2. Okay, then you can use for this the particular condition won't execute. Otherwise, okay, you can change that condition up to 3. Only 5 and 4. It terminate for the exam. Okay, it is terminated for the after less than 3. Okay, if you less than 4, it condition is false. This condition is false. Then while loop, because we are going to execute the number of statements, then begin and end is there. Without begin, only check for this one, not execute this one. Okay, begin and end is there. Number of statements. Okay, then it's a TSQL thing. Okay, I will continue up to the while loop, then stop, then you can do the practical next class. If you have any problem, please talk with me. Okay, don't shy. Okay, this is the while loop. Then while loop, this loop run until the count variable reach 0, and then output for this code as this. Okay. The convert function is used to convert the value from one type to another type. So convert is the one type to another type. This is a convert function. For example, convert nchar at count, convert the count variable into the nvarchar type, and okay, which can then be used with the print statement. Okay. Then continue and break is there. Okay. You use the continue statement to start the next iteration of the while loop immediately. Okay. Then you use inside the while loop any continue statement. Then immediately go to the start to the while loop. Skip over any remain code into the loop. Any remain code in the loop. The continue statement case execute to jump back to the start of the loop. Okay. Some condition you can go immediately go to the loop. Okay, beginning of the loop. Okay, while the following examples of while loop that use that continue statement start with the next iteration of that. Okay, if the variable is true, then next start with the like. You can see here. This is the example. I will explain. Okay, declare this count is an integer type. Set the at count 5 while count greater than 0 begin count this like set count is count minus 1. I put the one if condition. If count is true, then if you execute now is a 5 is okay. Execute like here you can get the print as a count 5. Then set the count is the minus 1 is the count now is a 4. Check the condition is 2 no. Then not execute here. Go there. Okay, go there. Then okay, no, go there. Right. Now is the count is 4. Right. Print this count is 4. Come here is the count is 3. Check this condition. No. Then over here. Okay. Now is the count is 3. Okay, satisfy. Print the count is 3. Now count minus 1 is now is count is 2. Okay, it's satisfy here. Then begin. Set the count is count minus 1. Again, reduce the 1. Okay. Now is the count is 3. Here is the count for the count is minus 1 is a 2. Then count is the count minus 1. Now is the count is 1. Continue. Then immediately go to the while loop. Not print for the print 2. Print count 2, not printed. Because this is continuous here. It's like without continue. Okay, I will do that both with continue and without continue. Then print this one and go there. Okay, then immediately go there and check. Then now is the count is 1. Okay, greater than 1. Okay, right. This print for count 1. Set this count is the count minus 1. Now is the 0 count. Not satisfied. Then again check here that. Okay. Now you can see this example. What happened for the continue and without continue. Okay. Some situation you can put that the execute for. If you satisfy, execute this one. Not satisfy, execute the other. Therefore, if condition here. Okay, but the while loop is there in the continue here. If you continue, if you satisfy the here, the continuous execute, immediately go to the beginning of the loop. Beginning of the loop is here. Again, go to immediately loop. Now I run this one. What is the problem? Okay, this is the wait. There is the problem for the that mark. Okay, now I run. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, no 2. Okay, okay, we can make for the command. Okay, this is a command. Now print 2 also. Okay, that's a little different because the format is different. Count space is there, but this is the string. Print string, there's a count. Okay. If you without continue, is continue this type. If you satisfy this one also, go this one and go beginning of the line. But if you continues there, then immediately go to that beginning of the loop. Okay, then you can use. Then we can use for jump to the another place. Immediately jump to the another place. But if you without that continue, is go to up to end of this one and go. Okay, then you can see here is a this begin and with here. This begin if and okay, if condition and begin for 2, 3 statement is here. Let's end with this. Okay, this close here. This. Okay, count like okay, some situation want to use this like if you jump to one place to another, if condition is satisfied, do something like then we can use here. Okay, now is a continue statement. Now is a break. Next one is a break statement. Okay, the output from the code is as for this slide. You will notice that the display of the count 2 is missing. Okay, this is because continue statement skip that iteration. Okay, the continue statement skip that iteration. Break statement. You use the break statement to end of the while loop immediately. Okay, if you use the break statement inside the while loop, immediately stop that while loop. Continue is immediately go to the next iteration. Okay, next iteration, but the break is immediately stop your while loop. Okay, the break statement case execute to jump out of the loop and continue executing any statement after that loop. After that loop, okay, end of the loop. The following example show the while loop that use the break statement to end the loop if the count variable is equal to. Okay, now you can see here. Okay, declare at count this line. Now here if count is 2, okay, every time 1 up to if your count is 3 is minus 3 minus 1 2, then begin break. Okay, then immediately exit the loop. Then only you can get the output as a count 5, count 4, count 3. Okay, output is a count 5, count 4, count 3. The output from the code as this line. Okay, then immediately exit the loop if you use the break. Okay, this is a small example. You can find some other example in the website. Okay, you can do that the SQL statement. Okay, TSQL. Okay, declare like now you can see there's a break is here, execute. Only like okay, I make this break is break. This end of the something print. Okay, something nothing is there. Okay, this execute for the 5 to 1. Continue like okay, but continue immediately go to the while loop, beginning of the while loop. Is the break immediately stop that loop, exit that loop. Okay, this is the difference. Okay, I'm going to stop now. I think we will continue for the go to statement later. Okay, go to and return statement also. Wait for statement, something like okay. Still next. Okay, next class. After that cursor. Okay, then again you go through that my slides and you can do it yourself. Then therefore I finish early. If another 1 hour or something is there, you can do the practical things I skip something. Also, this one also you can type and you can get the practice continuous that you avoid your error, typing mistake, everything. Next class we can continue this one. I think the run 70 is there. We have to go a little fast. Cursor is another things. Okay, anyway, you can prefer. How is that? Now you have the problem, any problems for the data? You can talk with your coordinator, any problem is there. Okay, students. Next class we will continue. Chapter 1 is not. Yes, I add the other file also. Students, I put the other files. Not to receive. I use the chapter 2 is the TSQL. Some students forget that one. Only download, I add the other file also, students. Chapter 2. Okay, again, if you want, I will add that too. Okay, so someone asked for the chapter 2. Already I uploaded.
Excuse me, sir.
I think I put that is only for a particular person. Wait. I will make the comment. Comment file. It's not private. Personally, I want to put that private. To all. To everyone. Okay. I think it got to the only particular person. Okay. 1 is the 2. Why is the network is disconnect? Wait a minute. Then why that share documents need? No. But network is there. All in the line also, but.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry?
It's okay, sir. It's already shared with our friend.
Your friend. Okay. But that person not download. I forgot to do. I upload for particular. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is there any difference between PLSQL and TSQL?
Sorry?
Is there any differences between
Yes,
PLSQL?
PLSQL, that is the use for the Oracle. But the TSQL is the SQL server you can make for the structural language. That's a structural program. TSQL.
Okay, sir.
But then, like as a program, but little different for the syntax. You know the other programs in C++, Java, C#, everything is the program there. This is also like as a program, but inside we can use this program for database programming. Because always I mentioned now we study for the variable, then variable can use. But otherwise, if you know in the SQL statement is a hard coding. If you one time if you put the where clause as a particular attribute is the some value, you cannot change. The particular programmer want to change again. But if you give for the variable then you can search what a particular object, in the text box as a search then the user can put the text and search. Or ID or some ID or something, they can search that different things you can search. That's a you make for that's a variable. The search text is you can assign for that's a variable then you can in the where clause that direct to put that variable. The time to time you can change. This is not hard coding. We call that is not hard coding. If you use the TSQL, easy to create the database programming. Well, disconnect file path new again I will try it. Okay, you can get from that person. Or I will send you that email or